are again. It is my 36th birthday. I've been doing this for over a decade now, kind of officially over a decade. I remember my first one of these I started doing. It was really just to do it, but now it's kind of like chronicling just the reflection of that particular year. And I've actually gone back and watched these over the years and kind of like seeing where I was last year versus where I am this year. And today was no different. I watched the video from last year. Last year, I was talking about brokenness and kind of how the season didn't break me. It just showed me where I was already broken. But this year was not that at all. But to continue the thought of brokenness and being shown where you're broken, after you get a revelation of where you are broken, you then have to come into the knowledge of what do I have left and what can I build with this. And so because I started thinking about what I have left and what I can build with this, it took me down this journey, which has been this year, 35, which is very interesting. It took me down this journey of, am I building what I want, or am I existing in what was built for me previously? Let me unpack. So earlier this year, my senior pastor, Pastor Zai, asked a question, and it almost sent me into a spiral. She said, simple question. She said, what are your hobbies? And I was like, I've never really thought about like an actual hobby. I'm a creative, so I like video, I like, design, I like all of that stuff. But I can't really call that a hobby, because when I do it, it's for a purpose. I'm not just doing it for fun per se, so it's not really a hobby. And so I was like, yeah, I don't know that I really have a hobby. And in her sweet Pastor Zai way, she says, you need one. I'm like, okay, I need a hobby. Leaving that conversation, and she said some other things in that conversation that I'm going to lean into later on, but leaving that conversation, I realized that because I didn't know what my hobby was or what thing I like to do just for fun, it exposed that there are still areas of myself that I don't know. And I don't know them because I never figured it out. Let's go a layer deeper. And I never figured it out because I've spent so much time occupying spaces or being in spaces just trying to fit in and be with the crowd. And so as a consequence, I never really found out what I wanted to do. I never really explored what I like to do. I never really ventured off into just figuring out what makes Kels happy. And that one question sent me on a journey to find out what makes me happy. And so I picked up some things along the way, and I thought that they would just be things. And these things became tools that begin to reveal more about who I am. And thing number one was I started running. Now, last year I picked up running because we were getting ready to do our staff 5K, and I wanted to do good, and I got serious about it, and then it kind of fell off. Well, this year I picked it back up because we did our staff 5K. And then I realized something. I actually like running. Something I would have never said ever in my life. I said, I kind of like this. I kind of like running long distances, 3 miles, 5 miles. Now, for all of you half marathoners and marathoners, please don't come at me for my running. I'm only at 5 miles. I think I may have done 6. I haven't gone past 6 yet. But I like running. I like what it does for my mind. I like what it does for my body. I like how it causes me to focus on something outside of the things that I'm required to focus on. And also, it lets me live in a space that other people are not living in. And running has become very therapeutic for me. And I like the fact, here it is, that the results are tangible. If I get up and run, I know that I'm going to see the results. And it really has become almost low-key a part of my identity. I'm not calling myself a runner just yet. I probably won't call myself a runner until I do a half marathon. Once I do that, I'm a runner, and you can't tell me nothing. And they're already trying to get me to do it. And you know who you are. Stop it, because I'm not ready. But once I do a half marathon, then I'll consider myself a runner. But I do got the shoes. I've got the glasses. I've got all of the gel packs. Like I got the stuff, okay? Because I really like running. I never thought that I would say that. Thing number 2 that I never thought that I would say, I like golf. Golf has become essential to me. It's become essential to me because I never recognized this until golf, but I am a tinkerer. I love tweaking. I love messing with things. I love trying to get in and figure things out. And I never really picked that up about myself until I got into golf, because golf is very, very strategic. And the thing that you have to be strategic with the most is yourself. You have to know how your body needs to be positioned. You got to know where the ball is. You got to know how to swing. Like, you got to know what the club face is doing. You got to, there's so much to tinker with in golf that it's probably 90% you, 10% environment. This is my novice talking from what I see right now. The scale could be very different. But for me right now, it's 90% me and 10% what the environment is offering to me. And it's really done something for my mind. It's allowed me to explore. It's allowed me to be mentally stimulated. And I never thought I would like golf. Never. Golf was so boring to me. And on the other side of this, I've come to this realization that I lived a life based off of other people's preferences and not my own exploration. What does that mean? I cannot believe that I lived in the time of Tiger Woods and I never actually got interested in watching him dominate. And being in golf now, that it's like I missed an era of pure greatness because I wasn't in an environment appreciating that kind of greatness. My parents never watched golf. Friends never watched golf. If you've heard me preach, you'll hear me say this. I'm hood adjacent. I didn't grow up in the hood, but I grew up close enough to have hood friends and go hang out and have all that good stuff. None of them were interested in golf. It was basketball, it was football, it was hip hop culture, all of the things outside of church. And man, I lived in the era of Tiger Woods and I never watched him. I never saw him dominate. And looking at him now and seeing what he did and just how great, maniacally great that he was, it was just like, wow, I missed out on a part of myself that I could have been leaning into if I would have just said, Kels, what do you like? Kels, what makes you happy? And that's really the question that I'm exploring and answering going into 36 to wrap all of this up. I've really been on a journey of saying, well, what does Kels like to do? Who is Kels Johnson now? I know who you've been for 35 years, but who are you for the next 35 years? Here's a question. What decision have you been avoiding making because you've been putting other people first? What decision have you not leaned into? What activity, what idea have you not explored because you were too busy trying to people please? And for me, I'm just in a season of my life where I'm like, what does Kels like to do? And at 36, I feel like I know, but I feel like I'm finding out so much more. And it's not a midlife crisis yet, but I'm definitely in the exploration phase of my life of trying to figure out who I am, what I want to do, and how I want the next 35, 40 years of my life to be crafted. What kind of world will I be able to build if I just do the thing that I love to do? And that's 36. And maybe that's you. Maybe you have been living a life that is built around other people's preferences. Man, free yourself. Don't live the next however many years of your life trying to people please, because people will come and go. At the end of the day, you just got you. And the people that really rock with you and care about you, they're going to allow you to figure things out and then guide you along the way. And man, I'm really excited about what 36 is and what this means for me. And man, I hope at 37, I'll be able to have more answers and come to you with more things like, yo, I tried this, I did this. And man, I know it's all going to work out. And I'm believing that God is going to do what he's going to do. I love y'all. Thank you for the birthday wishes. 36, peace.